Folks, welcome back. Today we're going to discuss buying in a bull market, and we're really going to probe and dissect the mind of a Timmy to hopefully save all of you from becoming one. And if you found yourself already falling into this trap, this is your wake-up call to get out of it. So tell me if this sounds like somebody that you know. And this advice is universal for any market. Doesn't matter if it's the real estate market, the stock market, the crypto market, the Pokemon market, or any other market out there. Timmy will see the market sitting completely flat. And he will convince himself of all the reasons at that point why not to invest, right? Well, things are really flat right now. I could do X, Y, or Z with my money. I've got time. I'm going to wait. I'll come back to it later and get in before it moves. Time goes on. Timmy misses opportunity. The market's moved up, okay? It's already up now. Timmy comes back and says, well, looks like I missed out. I'm definitely not going to buy it now. It's already risen this much. My neighbor Dave was able to get in way down here. I certainly don't want to pay more than my neighbor Dave did. He got a better deal than I did, which we'll get in that whole psychological discussion in a second. And so I'm going to wait until it drops to buy in. Okay. And so then eventually the market will hit a top, and it will turn over, and it will start to fall, at which point the Timmy will reach in his bag of excuses and pull out another one and say, well, now it's on the way down. I don't want to catch a falling knife. I certainly don't want to get in and have it be worth less the next day and the day after that and the day after that. I'm going to wait. I'm going to get in, but I'm going to wait until it hits a bottom. Okay. Then the market will bottom out, and it will continue to fall. It'll bottom out, and it'll sit at its low for a second. At which point, the Timmy will come back and say, I'm not even so sure about this whole market. I'm not even sure about this whole investing thing. This could be the big one. This could be the Armageddon scenario. This market may never recover. This market may never come back again. It may never hit its old highs. I don't even know about this whole thing anymore. And then it'll have kind of a short little blip up, right? A little rise. And Timmy will say, not worried about it. Looks like a dead cat bounce. Not going anywhere. And then it will come back down, back into its old low. And Timmy will say, I told you so. This market is toast. And then after a little more time, it'll start to run and keep running. And at this point, it'll just keep running. And Timmy will say, it looks like I missed out again. I was wrong. Obviously, can't buy in now. It's already risen so much. I could have bought in here, or here. So I guess I'm going to have to wait for it to fall again and wait for something new to come along to invest in, because obviously I've missed my opportunity yet again. And these people will do this every single day, week, month, year. And I'm sure you know people like this. Maybe you're even one of these people, and it's time for you to change. But these people that continuously make excuses no matter what the market's doing. I don't care what it's doing. People can justify an excuse for anything they want, right? Guys, we've been hearing real estate experts, right? Experts come on CNBC now for years saying the real estate market's topping out and it's going to crash. We have houses selling in my subdivision here in freaking Missouri for the highest prices they've ever sold for since I've been alive. Higher than last month, last year, and the year before that. And if you would have listened to these experts years ago that said it was topping out then, you would have missed out on insane amounts of gains. Honestly, if the market were to drop 10, 15% right now, which would be a huge drop in real estate terms, you'd still be up on your house if you would have just bought in when those experts were saying it was topping out and it was time to sell. Look at the stock market. Continuously sets new highs every single month. And you have people saying it's been overvalued and overextended, and these stocks are inflated, and whatever other stupid financial term they want to pull out of their hat to make themselves sound smart. They just keep pulling it out and throwing it at the board and hoping eventually it'll fall so they can say they were right. But in reality, right, by the time they're right, it doesn't matter because they're already wrong. And what I mean is, let's just say the Dow Jones is or not even Dow Jones. I'm not even going to talk financial markets. We'll just say something is $100, right? And someone's saying it's overvalued, all that stuff at $100, and it runs to $150, okay? And then from $150, it loses 30% of its value, and everyone's saying, I was right, I told you guys. Bro, you were saying it was overvalued at $100. Now we've lost 30%, it's at $105. You're still wrong. Even after these crashes, people are still wrong. Go look at all the alt-arts, guys. Everyone said they were going to crash. They're all still higher than they were before they went on their run. Meaning they're still wrong. You can be right about things falling, but be wrong overall because you were saying not to buy them before they went on the run, during the run, after the run, whatever. And this is the problem with this Pokemon market. Everybody thinks every time something moves up, it's too late. Guys, XY era started in 2014. Sun and Moon era started in 2017. Meaning, in the last 7 to 10 years, almost every single year, those boxes have risen. And every single time they've risen, people have said, it's too late, I missed it. And every year, they've been wrong. And they've been more wrong every year than they were the year before. People, think about this. These sets were 6 to 9 years old starting this year. And people said they had already missed out. Time to move on to Scarlet and Violet. We've seen some of the most massive increases on X, Y, and Sun and Moon boxes this year than we've ever seen. And everyone thought it was over and they missed out. Everyone thought they missed out on Evolving Skies when it was $400 a box. And now they've made over 100% in like a year's time. But it was over. You missed out. Missed out. Can't buy into something after it went up. It's too late. Lost Origin gets reprinted down to 110, right? Some people bought it. Other people waited. And then it went to 140. And they said, too late now. And then it sold out on Pokemon Center. It went to 160, 170. Now it's really too late, Alex. We missed the boat. It's over. And now it's selling for 230, 240. Guess what? Still isn't too late. Odds are it's going to be more expensive at the end of the year. It's going to be more expensive next year and the year after that. And every time someone says it's too late, they were more wrong than they were the last time. But during these bull markets, emotions take over. And you start to, convince yourself and justify all these reasons why not to buy. And here's the kicker. Here's what the most sickening part is about this market. And honestly, it just disgusts me to even talk about it. Most of the people in this hobby have disposable income, right? Most people are not spending money that they can't afford to spend that are putting their family's lives in jeopardy. It's money they can afford to spend. If it wasn't on Pokemon, it'd be going out to a nice dinner, going to a ball game, going to a concert, saving up for a vacation, whatever it is, right? And the reason they don't buy the box at 110 or 120 or 130, it's not because they're afraid to lose 10, 20, 30, $40. It's not what it is. Let me tell you what it is. They are afraid of getting it for more than the guy next to them. They don't want to come out and say that they paid more than that guy did. And if that guy online said that they bought a bunch of boxes at 95 or 100 and they're sold out now you can't get them, you don't want to pay 110. You want to wait for this, magical scenario where they come back in stock or they get restocked or reprinted and you can buy at the exact same price as that other guy. Otherwise, you feel like you got ripped off. That'd be like your neighbor getting home from the supermarket and saying, hey, good news, they had chicken breast on sale at $1.99 a pound. And then you go to the supermarket and the sale's over and now they're back to $2.99 or $3.99 a pound. You're like, I'm not buying that chicken breast, it's a ripoff. And it's like $5 is what you would save over the whole package. But you don't care because your neighbor got it for $5 less, so you're not going to buy it. You're going to make a stand. And it has nothing to do about the money of being able to afford it or not. It has to do with your ego because you think someone else got a better deal. And the funny part is, most everything you hear online is complete bullshit. Most of the people on the Discords, the Reddits, the comment sections didn't even get the deals they got, didn't buy as much as they said they did. And if they did, for the small percentage that actually do what they say they're doing, they're not even playing on a level playing field, so why do you care? They probably have distribution access. They probably have relationships in the hobby where they spend, large amounts of money or they buy in bulk, so they're able to negotiate a lower price. Whatever it may be, right? Maybe they did just happen to find a deal, had a coupon or, just whatever it may be. But it shouldn't matter to you. It has no bearing on your life whatsoever, right? Every month, every 2 weeks, whatever your 401k is set up at, every time that money gets deposited, if you invest in a 401k or a Roth IRA, do you sit there and wonder, I wonder what the other guys paid for their mutual fund investment? I wonder what the stock price was when they bought. It was lower? You know what? Hey, cancel that mutual fund investment, cancel that Roth IRA investment. just holding cash. I'm going to wait till that stuff drops so I can pay as much as my neighbor did. I don't want him getting as good a deal as I did. I don't want that happening. And that's like this insane scenario we go through in this hobby, right? I've literally, word for word, had someone ready to buy something and then back out because they said a buddy of theirs just found it cheaper somewhere else. And I said, oh, no problem. You should go and buy that then. They said, well, they're out now. So I'm going to have to wait for them to list more or to find it that price again. What if you never find that price again? Like, that price might just be gone. Kind of like Surging Sparks, guys. Listen to this. If you had bought Surging Sparks at $5.50 pre-release or from distributor, right? It's a great buy. I think most people would agree with that. What about when it reached $5.75 a few weeks ago? Still a good buy? What about when it went all the way to $600 a case? Was it still a good buy? Right? What about when it was $6.30? $6.60 a case. Alex, that's $105, $110 a box on pre-release. No way I'm buying that. Yeah, of course, that's a bad buy now. Yeah, it was good before. It's not good anymore. And now the boxes are $125, $130, $7.50 a case. How dumb do you feel now? Because you convinced yourself because somebody else got a better deal than you, it still wasn't a good deal. You see how dumb that is? You see the tricks your mind plays on you? And here's the other thing. It probably still fell within your metrics in your mind. It still probably fell within your risk to reward ratio. You had the disposable income for it. It met your investment, data that you wanted it to meet, right? You're buying a new product. It was between $100 and $110 a box. It was one of those hype sets in the era. It was short supply, so there was a good chance it was going to go up. You could afford to take the risk. You could afford to lock up the money. Everything made sense. But just because of one reason somebody else got it cheaper than you, you said, not going to buy it. Nope. Wouldn't affect your life whatsoever. But you didn't want to make the play because someone else got it cheaper than you. And you wanted to wait to get it as cheap as they did. Or cheaper. You got to beat them, right? You got to beat everybody. We're all in competition here. Guys, it really comes down to human nature is what it comes down to. And we're gonna step off the Pokemon and finance markets for a second. We're gonna talk a little about human nature. All right. So if you were here for the Pokemon finance talk, now it's time to click off the video. Appreciate you guys watching. See you next time. But I did want to kind of dive into this a little bit because I think it's important to think about. First off, I'm not one of those people that says everyone's got the equal opportunity in life. Everyone does not have equal opportunity. Everybody has an opportunity, but it's not equal. Let's be honest, right? If you grow up in like some foreign country that has intense poverty, right? You don't have access to a lot of the things the rest of the world has access to. It's going to be a lot harder for you to get ahead, right? Even here in America, if you grow up in some of the areas with extreme poverty, you're not going to have as easy as opportunities as other people have. You have the opportunity, right? We have stories. We have people becoming CEOs and sports stars and music stars and all the other stories that you hear out there of people coming from nothing, right? So it's possible. It's just much more difficult. And the truth is, most people are not going to take the difficult path. Most people are not going to put forth effort above and beyond, and therefore are usually going to get stuck where they started. And unfortunately for the poor and the people in poverty, that means they're going to stay poor and in poverty. And for the middle class, a lot of them are going to stay in the middle class. And that same effort that it takes for the people that are poor and in poverty to get up to the middle class, it takes that same effort from the middle class to get up to the rich and the wealthy. And most of them are never going to do it. Because the truth is, guys, whether you like it or not or believe it or not, most people just want to live a comfortable life. Okay? It's just the way it is. That's why the middle class is the largest bracket in any society, no matter what they call it. Because the majority of people, they're just trying to live. They just want to go make enough money to support them, maybe their families, buy a house, buy some cars, maybe take a vacation, be able to bring home a pizza or pizzas on a Friday night, be able to take their family out once a month to a movie, right? Maybe to a sporting event or a concert, or, want to have time after they get off work to go to their son's soccer game or their daughter's ballet recital. And they don't want to do anything else after work, right? They don't want to put any more work into growing their income or getting ahead in their career or starting a side business or worried about their investments. They just want to be able to dump it in a random 401k that people show them in a compounding interest calculator. And if you just do this for 40 years, you'll be fine in retirement. And they're just going to do that and not worry about it. And there's nothing wrong with that. The guru culture online that tries to make you believe there's something wrong with that life, it's a lie. There's nothing wrong with that life. But the point of this is, most people just want to live like that and be comfortable. And as long as they're able to sustain that life, they're not going to do more to get ahead. They're not going to take risks because risks are uncomfortable and people like comfort. And so when it comes to investing, all right, I'm going to bring it back around now. When it comes to investing, it's uncomfortable, right? People are afraid to put the money that they just went and spent their hard-earned, time and hours and spent their life for a certain amount of hours every week. They don't want to put that into something that they could lose it and not have anything to show for it, right? Now, notice I didn't say that they don't want to spend it. They don't want to invest it. They're more than happy to spend it. They're more than happy to order DoorDash. They're more than happy to go out to a $100 dinner. They're more than happy to go spend $20 on McDonald's, right? They're afraid to lose $20 on a booster box. They're afraid to buy it for $120 and have it drop to $100, but they'll certainly go pay $20 for a couple McDonald's cheeseburgers and fries. And they'll spend their money, right, on clothes and shoes and, whatever else it is that makes them feel good, right? But when it comes to actually wanting to invest in themselves or invest in Pokemon or invest in the market, invest in real estate, whatever it may be, that's where you have a lot of people fall off. And that's where you start to have people play those tricks in their heads and convince themselves, right, the Timmy mindset of all the reasons not to. It's not the right time. It's too high. It's dropping. It's too low. It's too scary. I don't want to lose what I worked for. And the thing is, they don't even put it in the bank. That's the worst part. Guys, I have people I went to high school with, and they had all the same opportunities as me, if not more, right? Went to the same schools, went to the same college, played the same sports, had the same type of upbringing, right? Same type of parents that raised us, right? Same type of households, same type of houses, if not better than what I grew up in. And somehow they've made all the decisions in life that have landed them still living at their parents' house with very little, if anything, saved or invested, even though they got decent degrees and they have decent jobs. How's that work? How do you get a job out of college at 22 years old, making, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year and get raises and been working it for 10 plus years and not have anything to show for it when you've been living at home? And now, I'm not even against living at home, right? A lot of people, that's another thing. That's a Western construct, guys. We're getting really deep in this video. If you like rants, I'm sure you're going to love this one. If you don't like rants, this is probably not going to be your favorite video, but I'm just going to keep going with it. But even living with your parents, guys, that's a Western construct that is wrong, okay? If you go look at families in the Eastern world, right, that's normal, okay? You have 2-3 generations living in the same house. They're stronger as a family unit because they're together. They can all take care of each other. They can pool their finances and actually become wealthier as a whole. Right? They're not sending their parents and grandparents to nursing homes for them to take care of them because they don't have enough time to do it because they're having to work so hard to pay for everything because they're weaker, divided. But that's a whole different conversation to get into on how Western society divides people and how other societies, keep the family unit stronger. But we'll talk about that in a different video. But living at home doesn't have to be a bad thing, right? If you're living at home because you're truly trying to do something, I don't see why that's demonized, right? What if you're living at home until you're 30 years old because you're working on a startup business and you're pouring all your time and effort and finances into making that business successful and you don't have time to take care of a house? You don't have time at that point in life that you don't want to try to raise a family or date or, have to worry about like keeping up your house and paying bills and taking money out of your company to pay those bills. Like it all makes sense and your family's okay with it and they're supportive. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Or maybe you got a great job, right? You got a great job out of high school or out of college and you're making a great salary and your whole goal is just, I want to save up all this money for the next 5-10 years and pay cash for a house, or set myself up so that I am way far ahead in life and I never have to be worried about finances again, and your parents are okay with that. Maybe you help out around the house, whatever, and everyone's supportive of each other. That's not a bad thing either. And then you're moving out at 30 years old with, a few $100,000 in the bank, right? That's not a bad thing. But again, Western society, if you don't move out right after high school, right after college, you're a bad person, you're a loser, you're a scumbag, all that stupid stuff, right? And I did move out after college, by the way, if you guys were wondering. But I don't think it's like a prerequisite to success or makes you a loser if you don't. I think that's weird stuff people come up with. But people with the same exact opportunities in life do not end up in the same spots, right? And so again, at the end of our lives, when we're reaching our 50s and 60s and retiring, and other people aren't, I'm not saying there aren't people that are dealt a bad hand and, go through divorces or deaths in the family or medical problems, or just got dealt a bad hand and never got out of it type thing. And, they struggle and need help, from either, their communities or the government to be able to survive during retirement. I get that. But it's very hard to ever feel sorry for anyone if they grew up a similar way than you, they were given the opportunities, and they still somehow find themselves in their 50s and 60s with no money saved just because they wanted to YOLO. Like, hey, didn't you take a trip to Hawaii last year? Hey, aren't you driving around a brand new car? Hey, didn't you do a whole bunch of updates to your house? Didn't you? It's like, you see all this money they spend, and then they want to be the ones bitching at everybody on why, they just can't get ahead. The system's rigged against them. America's too expensive. Groceries are too expensive. I can't afford to live. It's like, bro, so can I just compile your expenses per year and then show you what that would have been in just a regular S&P index or a mutual fund, and show you how much wealth you would have acquired if you would have just said no a time or two and stopped trying to, fill this emptiness in you with, things and trips and experiences and whatever else you call it. Which again, there's times for that. It's okay as long as you can afford it. But don't make decisions and then blame others that those decisions led you to a life or a lifestyle that you're unhappy with. It's no one else's fault most of the time, right? Sometimes it is. I'm not going to speak for, everyone, but 99% of the time, it's no one else's fault but your own. And same thing when it comes to this hobby, guys. If you don't make the play, it's no one else's fault, right? It doesn't matter that somebody else had a connection in this hobby and they found boxes for $90. It doesn't matter that your local game store buys the boxes at $95. It doesn't matter that someone else has a reseller permit or runs a business and they don't pay taxes. It doesn't matter that someone else buys, 20 cases so they can negotiate a lower rate because it's cheaper for that store or that seller to sell in bulk and ship everything in bulk and sell to one person, and the ease of transaction that they can trust you and they can get their money easy, and it's friends and family, whatever it may be. It doesn't have any bearing on what you do. All that matters is, are you doing the best that you can do with what you have? And we've talked about it a million times. It doesn't matter what you paid for the box or what you paid for the card in the future. If it does go up, the difference is minuscule. What always matters is one thing. Did you put money to work or did you not? No one is talking about the exact price they started to buy into the stock market after 07, 08, right? Doesn't matter if you got in right away in 09, in 2010, in 2011. It doesn't freaking matter. It doesn't matter if you bought a house in 2016, 17, 18, 19, 2020. You're up on your house. Your house is worth more than it was the day before. It doesn't matter in this hobby if you bought any Sword and Shield product in the last year or 2 years. Most all of them at this point, you're still positive on. And it's going to be that way until, I don't know, probably we die. Maybe some Armageddon scenario happens and all this stuff goes to zero and I'm left looking like an idiot. At that time, it'll be really fun to see everyone come and finally be able to take me down, and they'll all come with their arrows and their pitchforks, and they'll all take Alex down and kill him, and that'll be a good day. And I'll even enjoy that day because it'll be fun to see everyone finally be right. But in this life, in this timeline that we're in, very doubtful. And so my advice to everybody out there is just get involved. Just buy something. I don't care what you want to be invested in. Maybe you just watch this channel for entertainment purposes. Maybe you do invest in real estate or the stock market or crypto markets and you don't really put any real money into Pokemon. Great. Buy that then. Well, Alex, stock market's really high. Yep, and it's probably going to be really high tomorrow too. And then at some point in the future, it's going to be down. And then at some point in the future, again, it's going to be up again. And people are going to say, Alex, do you think it's going to go down or do you think it's going to go up? And I'll just say yes. Yep. What does that mean? It's going to go down, it's going to go up. When? I don't know. At some point, it's going to go down. At some point, it's going to go back up. That's how this stuff works. It's that simple. It's like asking me like when to purchase a card. Should I purchase that card today? Sure. Is it going to go down or up? Probably both. Okay? Like, buy a $40 card today. Maybe it's $35 tomorrow. Maybe it's $50 the next day. I don't know. But if you believe in the card, just buy it. Stop worrying about trying to find the last possible dollar because you want to get better than your neighbor and that guy over there. That guy over there in the back, how much did you pay? You paid $32? Well, I can't pay $34. I'm not paying $34. Screw that. Hey, seller, will you take $32? No? Okay. Let me go check eBay. No? Let me go check Facebook. No? Damn. Guess I'll move on to the next play. Not paying more than that guy. Screw that guy. Guys, I don't know where this video went. That's all I got, though. If you guys like this kind of thing, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back here in a new one soon. I'm out.